right. It is grass court season now. Betting Weekly Tennis Live. Mitch, Michals, Dustin Fox, part of the Bet Rivers Network. So much stuff on Bet Rivers. Download the app, get in on the action, bet on some tennis, and follow us on our socials at Because We Win. Roland Garros in the rear view. What a championship, man, the least. And just like that, we're playing grass court tennis. Maybe the best and shortest season of them all, Dustin. But welcome to the show. It's gonna be great, kind of making this transition.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Good to be with you as always, Mitch, on this Monday. And as we make this transition, I feel like we're all still a little hungover from clay court season because yesterday was, I think,
maybe still a little tipsy from clay court
I'm gonna
season.
be prisoner of the moment here, Mitch Michals, and I'm gonna say that was the best tennis match I've ever seen in my life.
You know, it's up there, and I try to give it. I feel like I need like a month or so away from it to really review it. But you're right, it's certainly up there. We were talking before we went on. Obviously, the Federer-Nadal match from that book right there. 2008 Wimbledon. I actually think Nadal-Djokovic from Australia, 2012.
That was a great one.
That was 553. This was 529. I mean, it takes drama, and obviously with that match, what yesterday's match, Alcaraz beating Sinner had was the match point saved. I mean, triple match point, triple championship point, 3-5 down. Alcaraz finds a way out. It was tough, and I think maybe, Dustin, for me, the older I get, the more I realize like how bad I feel for the other guy on the other side of the net. Like, it was incredible by Alcaraz, unbelievable championship performance, 101 for sure, but brutal for Sinner to lose that match. He had him. He was right there.
Here's what I said about this, and tell me what you think. I believe that if Alcaraz, doesn't have those, or offer up those 3 match points, on his serve when it's love 40. If it's just a straight easy service hold for Alcaraz and it's 5-4 for Sinner, I don't think he gets broken.
Yeah, it's the momentum swing, right? The crowd becomes part of it.
No.
Here's the betting angle too, right? I think it was at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was about minus 5,000 for Sinner in that moment to win. And Alcaraz was plus 4,000.
On love 40 match point?
I think it was, plus 4,000 for Alcaraz, which, again, that probably says Alcaraz, right? Anybody else is probably like plus 20,000. But Alcaraz, there is a slight chance. And it was 1 point. It was the 15-40 point where it was a second serve, and Sinner just pushed it along. He got tight. I think the other 2 points were more Alcaraz kind of stayed in the rally, but there's always a chance. It was actually impressive, though, Dustin, that Sinner didn't just completely fold down a break early, gets broke right away, fights back, breaks when Alcaraz is serving for it, and then they go to that tie break. So I think Sinner actually will win here one day. I think this is going to be Alcaraz's tournament, but I do think Sinner's going to get a Roland Garros title before his career's done.
Oh, I think he's going to get multiple Roland Garros titles. I don't think that it's a question like, can he get one? I mean, honestly, he was the better player yesterday for pretty much most of the match. Wow. I thought, the first 3 sets, like, dude, I'm at a watch party where people were like getting ready to leave. And next thing you know, it's 2.5 hours after everyone was about to leave that we're still there. So, good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. I want to put this comment up. Yeah, our producer Troy, who's doing phenomenal work here, but they took Bet Rivers took a live out at 11:50. So someone got in there and did pretty well for themselves. But yeah, that's the mark of a good tennis, right? Is that you're glued to the TV. You have other stuff to do, and you're just like, yeah, that'll have to wait.
Dude, I live bet this thing every which way, like almost perfectly. It was crazy because like I had a parlay that was the last leg was Sinner to win, and Sinner gets up 2 sets. I cashed my bet out, and when I cashed it out, I put some money to the side. This is how you live bet. I think if you try to be a little bit disciplined, which is kind of a rare trait for me, but then I put a little bit back on Alcaraz, and then Alcaraz, comes back to take it to a 5th set. I cashed out, and then Alcaraz breaks. He gets up a break. I cash out. I take Sinner. Sinner comes back, and it was like perfect, dude, because you knew that it was going to be there was going to be so many twists and turns along the way that I even told our people at the watch party, I'm like, this thing, it was like 5. It was when it was 5-3. I'm like, dude, it's going to be.
He was down.
It's going to be 5-5.
Alcaraz was on a break in the third. It was 2 sets in a break, and then he broke back and wins the third. So it was, first time he'd ever won a major match down 2 sets he was 0-8, I think, 2 sets down. Hadn't happened much, but gets that job done. It's crazy. That was.
I also think too, and not to take anything away from this win, because it was amazing, and I don't think any other player on the planet could do what Carlos Alcaraz did. But Sinner was tired. Sinner had 3 months off. Sinner had straight sets wins. He hadn't been pushed at all. I mean, you can say Djokovic, it was a long match, 3 hours, 3 sets, straight sets, but like, it's not the game.
Yeah.
Playing drop shots like Alcaraz, every point is locked in. It's tougher to play Alcaraz.
How courageous is Alcaraz, because the drop shot wasn't working early and he stuck with it, and then eventually Sinner. I think a positive too, Dustin, is that Sinner did kind of. Everyone's natural. Everyone's going to slow down playing 5.5 hours tennis against Alcaraz, but I think he held up pretty good. It wasn't, and maybe that'll be an argument for why this could be the greatest match ever. Is that Sinner didn't completely fall apart physically. He got tired, like a natural reaction, but he was still in the fight. It wasn't like he cramped up or slowed down completely. And that match tiebreak was just a masterclass. Alcaraz jumped on it early and took control. It was very stunning and very impressive for a guy now who has 5 majors at age 22. So
you know what it reminded me of is kind of like how Alcaraz just dismantled him in Rome in the second set.
Yeah,
it's like he found something, and then the movie White Man Can't Jump, when Billy Ho gets like locked in, he's like, not now. Yeah. He's like, I'm in the zone. Well, that's what Alcaraz did at the end. I mean, he got so locked in. I've never seen a tiebreaker with players that are so evenly matched. Where it was it 7-love at one point?
Yeah, yeah, it was. It really was. He was standing up. Well, he's got that dominant, like 91-3 or something in the last couple of years against everyone else not named Alcaraz, and then Alcaraz beating him 5 straight, I think. So incredible. More on that match will be later, and we'll definitely have perspective on it, going forward. I wanted to look ahead to Wimbledon, just a glance at the future market, but we do have live grass court tennis going on. The ATP men are in Stuttgart. They're also in Hertogenbosch, where men and women combined 250. But I kind of want to start with this, Dustin. First time ever we got women. Well, not first time ever, but first time in a while. Women's tennis at Queen's Club, a 500 event, and it's on the newly christened Andy Murray Court.
How about that? That's awesome. First off, and number two, it's just awesome to see grass court tennis on my TV, because it's my favorite type of tennis to watch. Yeah. My favorite season, even though it's so short. But it's the most elegant way to watch the game, to play the game, I think. It's where they used to play back in the day, man. And I love it. I'm actually watching our girl Anisimova right now. I bet against her in this match.
Jodie took Burrage, huh? The
Burrage,
British local.
Yeah. It's 2-all here in the second. She's up a set.
She's up a set. Anisimova is still a solid favorite on the money line, -165, up 30-love in that 2-all game in the second. And yeah, I would think right now that's, if you want to jump in live, Jodie up a set, still getting plus money. I would really like that.
She's playing really well.
She's playing well. Grew up, obviously, Great Britain, so has that advantage. But you can talk to this too. Like, imagine another sport where you have to just adjust, because we think footwork is the staple of all athleticism and all high-level sports. How much you have to rewire your footwork to go from clay to grass. That transition might be the most tough, most brutal of them all.
Oh, there's no question. And I think you saw it a little bit today. The earlier matches just ended. Donna Vekic got blown out in straight sets. And it's like, man, you come to these grass courts, and who did she lose to? The girl with her last name starts with the Z. It escapes me right now. Zakharova?
Yeah, she lost to Zakharova 3-3 in that one.
Yeah,
never really found her footing. Yeah,
Zakharova played almost a 3-hour match yesterday, to get here, and it's like, man, this is the first match on grass for Vekic, who just comes from off the clay. So you're 100% right to your point. This is so crazy. And Anisimova, her last match, she just lost at the French Open to Sabalenka. So then she comes here, and it's all of a sudden you're playing somebody who probably grew up playing on the grass in the UK. And she's in a dogfight.
We saw some big names go down. We saw Kasatkina lose, Leylah Fernandez lose. Head Maya beat Kvitova on a 3-set one. It's going to be tough. Yeah. Kvitova is going to take some time. The comeback's tough, and that's a brutal first matchup. Head Maya starting to play better with that serve. I mean, she can neutralize a lot of points. But on the Kasatkina front, I did want to say a sleeper for me in grass season based on last year, Sonia Cartel. The British, well, basically a qualifier last year all the way through Wimbledon.
I had that bet today.
She's been
plus 175, man.
biggest breakthrough of her career, this year has been great. She was playing small level tournaments, and she looks like a bona fide top. I mean, I don't know what the ceiling is. We'll see I want to double check what the ranking is, but she looks like one of the top 40-ish players in the world. Like I've seen it in the last couple of years. So,
bro, her forehand is as good as anybody on tour. And when
she's
her
50
serve
right now.
Her serve's pretty good.
She's 50. I see her breaking into the top 40 if she has a successful couple months here. I mean, why not, right? She was a complete unknown. And we've got another men's match live, by the way, because we mentioned that the men are in Stuttgart. Queen's Club will be next week for the men's, but you got Giovanni Mpetshi Perricard taking on Roman Safiullin, some power, big strikers on the grass, deep into the third set on serve 5-4. So I wasn't able to come on earlier and just prep this match with. I think it's going to be long in the over, but we've got a couple over bettors that are sitting pretty right now with Mpetshi Perricard and Safiullin.
What is that one at now? Is it in the third set?
5-4. Safiullin serving to stay in the match. We had the one tie break, so that would have been my first. I didn't see the odds beforehand, but I would have definitely tossed that out. A 12-10 tie break in the first set, but that's deep in the third. The last live match in Stuttgart. So yeah, we're finishing up the live window strong with some heavy hitters. I think Anisimova, if she does survive, getting back to that match, Dustin, she's someone that I thought on the grass with her weapons could be a potential factor. We'll see how the transition goes, but she's got the tools and the ball striking. I don't know if she has the net game, but in 2025, do you really need that to succeed? Probably not as much.
No, I mean, I would say you need a little more on grass. You got to come to the net. I think the points got to be quicker, but overall, I mean, you got to have a big serve, and she can hit winners. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
She gets the hold after facing a break point. Had an ace on break point that got her back to now sneaks ahead 3-2 in the second.
Yeah, looking at some other ones on this match, you can go on Bet Rivers and get on there. So the money line is Burrage plus 110, Anisimova minus 157. If you like Jodie to win this match in straight sets, take her to win set 2 plus 240 right now on Bet Rivers. And some other ones. We like the instant ones too, right? Because those are the ones where you could have made a killing on some of the game bets, especially yesterday in that epic final. Also, shout out to the women. Coco Gauff gets her second slam, beats Sabalenka second time in a major final. It's impressive. It's impressive how well she competes, right? Because like we've seen it before, not at her best, maybe a slow start, loses the first set, but her head stays in it and never lets the moment get away from her.
Well, I think she had to have some confidence after the first set. She falls behind 1-4 and then comes all the way back, gets it to the breaker. She's up in the breaker 5-3, I believe, in the first set breaker, and then loses. So that could go one of two ways, and it went the right way for her, where she used it as confidence to then turn it around. Like the second set, I think it was 6-2 or 6-3, and then we all saw the final set there, which was also great. And like I thought that Sabalenka was going to break back and get it on serve to push it and extend that match. That one point she had to get it to deuce when it hits the line was insane.
Yeah.
It was on championship point, and she gets it to deuce. I'm like, oh boy, here she goes, and she gets the break point, doesn't capitalize.
The stats, and we've got it in the comments too, right? 70 unforced errors. I will push back it a little bit. I don't think those stats are 100% accurate. You've played enough tennis now to know, Dustin, that like what's really an unforced error. I think there's levels to it. There's like a semi-forced error. There's a complete unforced error. There's a forced error. There's somewhere in the middle. And I watched that match. I think 70, based on the untrained eye of myself, is a little much. I think Coco, and that was part of it too. Like the press conference after, Sabalenka probably wasn't as complimentary as you should have been, which you'll understand.
I didn't
right?
love it, man.
After a loss, I'm willing to give you like it's tough, right? Right away, like you just lost a big major final. You might never win this tournament. Here's a microphone, like go talk. I think a day to cool down was good for her, but I think part of those unforced errors were forced by Coco. Like I think what she was doing to her was resulting in points won. So that's where I push back. 70 just didn't seem like the right number to me.
No, I didn't like that number. I didn't like what she said. Honestly, I didn't even like her Instagram apology, because she sort of doubled down on it again, because she keeps bringing up the conditions. It's like, Saba, the conditions, she wasn't playing indoors and you weren't playing outside. Like you both were playing in the same conditions. Like that's tennis on clay, no less. Like that's how the game is played. and to complain. I just really don't like that as a former professional athlete myself. I just don't complain about this stuff, especially when your opponent has to deal with the exact same conditions.
For someone that's wanted this tournament for so long and had Iga in her way, and then all of a sudden, beats Iga, I wondered, right? Like looking back, hindsight's 2020. She probably built that match up in her head like it was the final, and then
Probably
you
so.
still have to win one more match, and you're playing the next best player in the world. So 2 titles for Coco, though. I mean, still just starting her career. So it's nice to have her in the mix as a legit contender, and where she goes from here into Wimbledon. Could she even make a push at the #1 ranking? It's all on the table. So it's good. 2 for 2 Americans on women's slams this year too. So that's pretty cool.
You see her video she posted to her Instagram with the trophy?
Oh yeah.
Dude, the thing is tiny. They give you like a souvenir one to take home.
Yeah, they don't let you keep the real one. You get like a little one you can put on your mantle.
Did they make a new one for the winner every year?
No, not a real one. Not a real one.
Excuse me. Man.
We can look tomorrow at some of the matches on the grass courts. I did want to get to what Wimbledon looks like too, but we've got a lot here on Betting Weekly Tennis Live. Mitch, Michals, Dustin Fox, all part of the Because We Win network or Because We Win social channels. There's so much going on here. But on the women's side, we mentioned Queen's Club. We've got some interesting matchups tomorrow, and a couple that stood out to me. Katie Bolter taking on Isla Tomljanovic. Bolter, another local British player, -186. Isla +145. And then Barbora Krejcikova. This line's interesting to me, Dustin, because she's a Wimbledon defending champion, hasn't played a lot of tennis. She's a 2-1 favorite over Sramkova, +150. I wanted your opinion on that one because it seems a lot like respective name recognition, but we just haven't seen Barbora play. Number might be a little juice for me.
What is the number again?
-200, Krejcikova.
Oh man. It's so early in this grass court season that that's a stay away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying away from that until I can see some form on the grass.
Yeah, what's this? Yeah, I think, and I'm going to go into the Bet Rivers network and see what else. I mean, I would say that it's a little hefty, but to win a set, Sramkova is -167. I think you got value in that number. I just don't know, man. I like Barbora, but she hasn't played. Like, that's a lot for someone that just is literally in her 3rd tournament back. First on grass. She played 1-1 match at Roland Garros. So we're talking 1 and 2 on the season in 2025. So that's why I would monitor that one. Other ones there as well. Our girl McCartney Kessler's playing. She's got an interesting matchup too because she still hasn't completed her first real full season, Dustin. And that's one where I'm looking at thinking, is she ready to kind of make it and make a run? I'm not entirely sure, but decent favorite in that one. I just don't know what she looks like on grass. So maybe that's a wait and see approach and see if she's worth backing in the tournament if she wins.
Who do you think currently, out of all the women, is the best player on grass right now?
It's such a debate, right?
I mean, who's in the conversation?
Sabalenka is always in any conversation, but
Sure.
we don't have the track record. She missed last year with an injury. Iga just isn't built for grass. You have to throw Coco in there. Rybakina, if she's on, is a Wimbledon champion, but there's just so many variables, right? I think Jessie Pegula plays well on grass, but I do think that her form of late has been lacking. So maybe I'm back in Mira Andreeva. I know it's young and there's some variables there, but I could see her succeeding on grass with how she plays. So,
dude, she could have been in that final at Roland Garros. I think she just got a bad matchup and really got in her head playing Boisson.
Hey, how about tomorrow? One of the matches we should talk about: Moutet versus Fognini. We're getting those two guys playing against each other.
Fognini and Moutet, man, those are two of my favorites. I mean, Fognini is 75 years old, but still, I mean, he can turn it on when he wants to.
He could. A lot of good matches at Stuttgart tomorrow. We're going to get to 2 of them, but the other one to mention too, Werner Tien versus Nishioka. Werner's -220, Nishioka's +170. Again, Werner just first year really going. Nishioka's not easy to get through, so I think that could be maybe an overplay. Over in that one is 23.5 games, so we shall see.
Anything else jumping out at you tomorrow, the rest of the week with these grass tournaments?
tomorrow, 2 matches in Stuttgart I really want to highlight. One being Alex Michelsen, Gael Monfils here on the
Two of
board.
my favorites.
This is, Monfils just keeps on playing. Michelsen is a slight underdog, but both minus money, minus 122 for Monfils, minus 103 for Michelsen. There you see the game spread, the over-under, and some set betting. Dustin, I just think Michelsen has the tools to be an elite grass player with how he
no
can
doubt.
play.
No doubt. He won Rhode Island, right?
Yeah,
Or Newport?
he lost in the he
or
won
he
or
the
he lost in the final. He lost to Mannarino.
Oh.
He lost to Mannarino. By the way, Mannarino lost that Alexander Block's kid.
I saw that today.
That kid could be special. But I just think Michelsen, with how he plays and with what he can do, the question I have, though, is, not to use a pun on your name, but will he be outfoxed by Monfils? Because Monfils thrives in this situation, right? Younger player, inexperienced. Monfils will do just enough and win the big points and win these matchups.
Yeah, I just wonder, is Monfils worn out after Roland Garros? Had a great run. He played, what, 2 5-setters in Roland
Jack
Garros?
Draper, 5-setter, played him really tough, but tough one there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm taking Michelsen at basically even money on the grass. I think he's an up and comer, and I think this is a surface that you hit on the head, man. His game is suited for this type of surface, no doubt.
I agree with that one, and I also like this match stood out too. Quentin Halys taking on Lorenzo Sonego. Sonego, a slight underdog on the money line there. Halys has been a player that I think, with again, game maybe built for grass. Can Quentin come up here and win? Sonego is part of that Italian brigade that's been really riding high, or riding the wave of Italian tennis. But any thoughts on that match, Dustin? Halys versus Sonego?
I would lean Sonego, but Halys played well on the clay this season. He surprised me several matches that I was like, this guy's going to be a dog, and then he just fights. So I would lean Sonego, but that's just a lean. It's a no bet for me.
We're starting out figuring out too. Maybe this is where the live betting comes in. Start a grass season, kind of see who looks good, what they're able to do out there. Sonego's a fighter, so even if he gets down a little early, I think he might be able to sprinkle on him and find something there. We're looking at some other matches. I wanted to just see if we got anything else that wets the beak for tomorrow. Hertogenbosch, Echeverry, Verton. And hey, we got Huebert Hurkacz taking out Bautista Agut in Hertogenbosch tomorrow. Hubert's minus 250. Great grass court player. You know which one I'm actually looking at, Dustin, now that I'm just seeing. Well, I know Chapo's up there, but for the Huebert bet, Huebert in straight sets, maybe we're looking at maybe an option there. Will Huebert to win in straight sets would be about plus 117 RBA. I just don't know what RBA has left.
How is Hubert's knee right now?
True.
Because I know it's been a little bit banged up. It does worry me with the grass, knowing how much you have to bend your knees and get low. Like, I just, is he 100%? That's my question.
What did you like on Chapo?
That one I saw. I just thought, I think it's going to be an interesting match. I mean, I don't know that I have a lean one way or the other. Rinderknecht nearly took a set off a center.
Yeah.
In the French. So, like, he's probably coming in with a little bit of confidence. He played really well. He did blow it, but he broke center and had a chance to serve it out for a set. And
Chapo
Chapo has not been impressive to me this year. Outside of his
grass,
he had one hardcore tournament, I think.
Yeah.
Or didn't he make a semi or a final?
He won. No, he won. Yeah. He won Dallas or lost Dallas.
That's right. Yeah, he got to the final in Dallas.
Casper won Dallas, or did he? No. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. He made the final in Dallas. It's been already a long season, but
maybe he won it. I don't know. Whatever. It was the only good tournament he had.
Yeah. Other than that, it hasn't happened, and I just don't know that he's gonna make sure that it happens this time. Yeah, he won Dallas. He beat Casper in the final, so he has that title to his name. But other than that, I think Arthur Rinderknecht, I think, is somebody that could definitely play well. And I think before Alcaraz gave Sinner his toughest match in that lead up. So I know it's different surfaces, but we mentioned too the Hertogenbosch, the women's draw is taking place. I think I might sprinkle a little on Bernarda Pera against Magdalene at plus 140. I think Pera is a live underdog in that matchup. She's had some success there. Danielle Collins plays Greet Minin. That's minus 235 for Collins.
How's Collins been on grass the last couple of seasons?
I don't remember anything notable.
Okay.
So that's
it's not remarkable to me either. So I was just trying to think. I mean, she's minus 250, 240, depending where you look. I think Bet Rivers says 250. You said,
yeah. And 235 for Collins in this matchup. Kimberly Burrell, local, plus 112 might be one to. They're not, they're obviously not playing in Britain, but someone that grew up in Britain on the grass, so maybe that's worth one. All right, here, what I want to do, Dustin, is look ahead to Wimbledon, though, because it's a great time to just kind of see what's out there, future market, if we have any thoughts, right? So as of right now on Bet Rivers, remember, this is going to change a lot. We'll see. A couple-week lead up. The men's side, it's Jannik Sinner as the betting favorite to win Wimbledon, plus 145. The defending champion, Carlos Alcaraz, is plus 165. Then you have Novak Djokovic at plus 600. Draper at 1,100. Followed by Zverev, 2,000, Taylor Fritz at 3,300. Those are the top 6 on the board. So anything jump out to you with those names? Anybody missing? Anybody overpriced? What's the initial thoughts there?
Jack Draper.
I knew you were going to say that. It definitely feels like it should be single digits.
That's my guy.
It should be three numbers, not 4.
I would be very surprised if this guy's not in the quarters or semis.
The one name that's not on here, okay, Ben Shelton's 8,000. I think that should be coming down a little bit. I think he can maybe play a little bit better on the grass, given how well he played against Alcaraz. The usual suspects here. If Berrettini's healthy, and that's a big if, but I think he's one of the few that's had notable success here. His number on Bet Rivers is plus 10,000. Tommy Paul, 12,000. Yeah, maybe it is Jack Draper. Are we just destined for another Sinner Alcaraz final as they've won the last?
Honestly, man, I feel like we're
majors?
going to see Sinner Alcaraz in countless more finals in slams.
So they've won the last 6 majors.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at, right? So 6 for 6, 3 each in that run. Carlos has 2 prior to that, but man, maybe that's just the new normal. But I do think.
They could. The next 6 could be those 2.
Wow. Yeah, plus 145 though, plus 165. I don't know that we get them down to minus money like the French, but maybe we do.
What's the field outside of those 2? I mean,
I know we got to find a prop
for that.
We got to find a prop bet, right? Because that's the one where it's like you find that bet and you're really ready to go. They have actually. You could bet against them individually. I don't see right now on Bet Rivers they offer, if you bet against Sinner to win Wimbledon, it's minus 200, and Alcaraz it's minus 225. So as the tournament gets closer, especially draw week, we'll be able to see the special ones. You mentioned the women though, like what to expect right now on Bet Rivers. Favorite is Aryna Sabalenka plus 220. What's your guess without looking who number 2 is?
I mean, I'd say Coco.
Coco is number 3, 650. There's someone ahead of her.
Man, I'm trying to think. I mean, you said it's not Iga?
It's not Iga. She's number 5. Well, she's tied for 4th, plus 900.
Paulini?
No.
I'm just throwing names out right now.
You know what? Paulini's 9th on this list, and she did make the final last year. So, like, I think that's a little bit of an undervalue. Number 2 is Elena Rybakina, plus 440.
Well, she's won it.
She has won it. You got Andreeva and Iga tied at 900. Madison Keys. Maddie Keys, maybe. I mean, on grass, like potentially 1,300. Ostapenko's down here. Qinwen Zhang, Paulini, and Pagula. Naomi Osaka, is she going to find it on grass? Plus 4,000. There's some names I would consider betting on, especially the quarter section of the draw. And one of them that stands out to me is Alexandrova at plus 5,000. I think that's a value to at least make a run, potentially a semi-run. We've seen it. What has it been like the last couple tournaments? We've seen, maybe not Australia last time, but Roland Garros with Busan, you're going to have these surprise semi-final runs. So,
all right. So Anisimova wins the second set, 6-3. We go to a deciding third set.
Let's take a look before we wrap up here on Betting Weekly Tennis Live. We're at 1 set all. Jodie Burrage is plus 215, winning the first point of the third set and serving first. Right, you're on the Burrage train, right? She serves first. That's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I just threw another couple bones on her
You
at
got
plus
that
290.
And how did while we were talking, while we were losing ourselves in Wimbledon, how did Mpetshi Perricard win 7-5? Doesn't even need the tiebreak.
Didn't even need a breaker.
Maybe he's a sleeper at Wimbledon. We'll see.
Well, we know his serve is ridiculous,
and
we know grass. It's like he could pull off the Milos, right? He could have like 40 aces in a row.
I know.
But the problem is he could have like 5 double faults in a row, and that's how he gets broke.
The biggest thing for these tournaments is the lead up, right? We don't know how much we're going to see the favorites, right? Like, doubt we see Djokovic. He doesn't usually play. He hasn't played Queens in a while. Alcaraz will probably be in Ibiza, just hanging out on a boat for a while. Much deserved time off. Sinner's an interesting one because, like, I think he will play. He likes to play Halle, the German event. And I do think he needs more reps, maybe, which we talked about, hasn't played. Aside from that, though, I mean, I don't know that we're going to have the special beauty about grass court season. It's so short. We want more of it because there isn't much. There isn't the buildup like there is to Roland Garros. Like, we only have a few, sometimes no sample size. So,
Well, the other thing that's different, and you could tell me because you've covered it longer than I have, but like the clay is different in Italy as it is in France. The grass is the grass different in
they've changed
Germany
it.
as opposed to in England?
I wouldn't say that necessarily is the case, but it definitely is different than grass court tennis 20 years ago. That's like an undisputable fact that it bounces a little higher. It's still lower than it is, as we mentioned, like the comment mentioned, the low bounces and the shorter points, but it isn't like the old school Sampras, Ivanisevic, just serve and volley nonstop. So,
which I love.
You can baseline a little, and you can dive too. Huebert, we mentioned, some of these guys, I think Tsitsipas, you can dive and go full stretch and hit some of those shots without getting hurt. Clay, you'll get a little dirty. It'll sting. Hard court, you're going to get scraped up. But grass, it's a lot softer. You can go Boris Becker or Stefan Edberg and just dive across and lunge. So I think this week will be good for fact finding. I think you go on Bet Rivers, you bet on some tennis, you see which underdogs. My only advice, Dustin, as someone on the outside, would be look at those lines that are prohibitive favorites. I think you can find value because we're just starting out here. We don't really know, how the form's going to be. But there are players for sure that are looking ahead to this time of year. Maybe not even great. A lot of them not great clay court players. I think this is a time to capitalize. So we've got a lot to get to for the next couple weeks leading up to the All Whites at the All England Club.
What about Tommy Paul, by the way? He got his first title on grass last year.
Yeah, won Queens last year. Definitely think he's live. I think he can play with the top players. I think he was a wounded animal going into that Sinner match, which I would not have picked him to win if he was healthy, but that was a misleading scoreline based on just how banged up he was. He played Alcaraz tough. I think he's a guy that could he can consistently beat every player outside of those top 3 or 4. And even against those top 3 or 4, he can play with them for like a set and a half. He could beat them. He could be right there. But what separates these guys, we saw it for 5 hours and 29 minutes yesterday, is that they're built to go and can play a high level for so much longer than everybody else. So that's
the
where I'm at.
Consistency and the fitness and the level of consistency when those guys get in those tight moments is what the difference is. I'm just blown away at how these guys can stay so locked in for so long. I know we got to wrap, but I had this conversation with a friend last night. Do you think that tennis players, like those two guys right there, who's a better athlete in the world than those guys? And I know you could say like, well, LeBron James or like these guys, I'm
going to show my bias. I'm going to show my bias, right? I think they're up there, tennis and well-roundedness. I would go in another sport. I'd say hockey. Connor McDavid's up there because you're talking like the same level of cardiovascular that you need, plus like the being hit stuff. But no, tennis is right there with the well-rounded athleticism. I think in terms of conditioning, it's in terms of overall conditioning to go tennis, hockey, the boxers like to be able to fight for, that long. They're not really like maybe using like certain athletic skills. Like it's tough to watch boxers maybe shoot a basketball, but you're right. I mean, tennis players are right up there. 5.5 hours, probably lost about 7 or 8 pounds in that match and just not tired. It's crazy. But no, this was a good first show for grass court season. Thanks everyone for watching, listening. And then, I think the plays tomorrow, maybe we'll see what you got here. You got Sonego, Halys, you got you're on Michelsen for a little bit, and you're going to get that Jack Draper Wimbledon bet in. Just start it off now.
What is it? Plus 600? Plus 800?
1100.
1100. Yeah.
You can wait. I mean,
I'm going to wait a little bit.
I think he got until the end of Queens, because after Queens Club, if he plays well there, the buzz is going to be real. The buzz and people are coming in. So I think he got a week.
Okay. Well, my wager's not looking good, buddy, because we got Anisimova in a bit of a freight train situation here. She's kind of striking the ball better than anybody.
Well, that's what she does. She is very good at what she does. Well, this has been a great show. Thanks to everyone for watching. Make sure you download the BetRivers app if you don't have it. Make all your bets on tennis there. Follow us on socials at Because We Win, and we'll be back again, same time, same place, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern. All part of the Because We Win on our socials. And BetRivers is putting out great content, whether it's tennis, whether it's football, English football, whether it's soccer, basketball. We've got a lot of great content. So for Dustin Fox, I'm Mitch Michals. This was Betting Weekly Tennis Live. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Enjoy the tennis, win some money. We'll see you.